You know that feeling, that specific panic when you open a rack cabinet?
Oh, yeah.
And it just looks like a spaghetti factory exploded inside.
Classic integration nightmare.
You've got the video switcher here, a DSP for audio over there, a third box for the control processor, and cables are just choking everything.
And trying to troubleshoot that mess is, well, it's usually a day-ruining event.
Exactly. So today we're looking at this Kramer VS-88UT. It claims it can replace that whole chaotic rack with just a single 2U chassis.
An all-in-one presentation system.
Right. But my first thought is, are we looking at a genius efficiency move, or are we just creating a very, very expensive single point of failure?
That is the big question, isn't it? It's definitely a Swiss Army knife approach.
Yeah.
You're combining an 8x8 matrix switcher, a master room controller, and a power amplifier, all in one.
Okay, so let's break down the video side first. It's an 8x8 matrix, but the I/O mix is interesting. It's a hybrid of HDMI and HDBaseT inputs and outputs.
Right, and it's pushing resolutions up to 4K at 60 Hz with 4.2.0 chroma subsampling.
And for what it's used for presentations, video playback, that's perfectly fine.
Exactly. The data rate is up to 10.2 GBP, so it handles it well. Plus, a feature I love is the non-volatile memory.
Which should be standard on Pro gear, but you'd be surprised how often cheaper stuff just forgets everything after a power cycle.
Totally. If the building power flickers for a second, this unit remembers exactly which input was routed where. You don't get that dreaded blue screen of death reset, period.
Okay, so the UT in the model name, that's for HDBaseT 2.0, right?
It is.
So we're getting signal extension distances way past the order limits.
Way past. In normal mode, you're hitting 100 meters for 4K video.
100 meters.
But if you drop the resolution to 1080p and switch on ultra mode, you can push that signal up to 180 meters.
Wow, that is massive. That's nearly 2 football fields.
It's a huge distance.
And I'm seeing it provides PoE, so it's also powering the receivers at the far end.
Correct. It sends power right through the Ethernet cable to compatible devices. So behind the display, you don't need a bulky power brick. It just keeps the install so much cleaner.
Okay, this is where I start to get a little skeptical. It's not just moving pixels around, it calls itself a master room controller.
And this is the real differentiator.
I mean, we're talking actual relays and GPIO ports on the back.
Yep. So instead of buying a separate Crestron or Extron control processor, this unit can handle the physical environment.
So it can trigger the projector screen to drop down?
It can drop the screen, close the drapes, dim the lights, all through its own contact closures.
It sounds incredibly efficient, but this gets back to my whole eggs in one basket worry.
I get it.
If the video matrix part of this thing fries, do I also lose the ability to turn on the lights?
Technically, yes. That is the trade-off. You are centralizing all the logic. But the flip side is that you get this incredibly seamless automation. Because the box knows the video state, it can do audio follow video switching automatically.
Right.
No complex external programming needed.
And speaking of audio, it's got a built-in amplifier, right? A 2x50 watt amp.
It does, so it can drive the ceiling speakers directly. It also handles up to 8 microphones with phantom power, mixing them right over the program audio.
So it's basically replacing a small DSP and amp as well.
For a lecture hall or a large conference room, absolutely.
So let's talk about the bottom line. It looks like you can pick this up for around, what, $7,288 from a place like HDTV Supply.
Yeah, and when you do the math, adding up a separate 4K matrix, a control processor, a DSP, and amp, that price point is actually really aggressive.
It saves rack space, and it saves budget.
It does. But for that kind of investment, the vendor support becomes the critical variable. You have to know that if the brain of your entire room goes down, you can get help fast.
I did notice the source material highlighted a review that specifically called out the operations team at HDTV Supply. Rachel Christian, I think?
Yeah, that stood out to me too. In the Pro AV world, having a specific person you can call, someone who can navigate the supply chain for you, that's often worth more than the hardware spec itself.
Especially when downtime just isn't an option.
Exactly.
So it really comes down to an integration philosophy. Do you want the redundancy of having separate dedicated boxes?
Or do you want the streamlined simplicity and the cost savings of the VS-88UT? If you're tight on space and budget, this unit is a powerhouse.
But you have to be comfortable with that centralized architecture. Efficiency versus redundancy, the eternal struggle.
It always is.
Well, that's a wrap for this deep dive. We'll catch you on the next one.